It's barely even the third throttle. Hopefully I can make this turn here. Yes. Alright, it's getting pretty dark out. My hands are starting to turn purple. I'll show you guys the modifications I made to the landing gear and stuff, and then I think I'll call that a video. So this is the new upgraded landing gear mechanism. As you can see, I've got two rubber bands here that are full length, and then one that's doubled up here. And those are just sort of wrapped around the axle here. But this right here is just like a little wire clamp, and it can't really get around whatever this little protrusion from the cylinder is. There's like probably a couple thou that this comes out. And then this sort of just butts up against that, and it won't go over. I just have that screwed in with a little screw there, and then these go sort of into that, and they're clamped between there. Not actually clamped, they're free to move, so that there's no stress on the rubber band, but they're clamped there. And then this just holds it in its position, and if it does need to retract back into there, it can easily do that. There's not much force actually pushing it that way. And then once it does, it'll return to a position where it won't like get stuck up vertically and then do what the real B-70 did when it landed on one of their test flights. When I was out there doing the taxi tests, I'm not sure if you guys could see it, but it was like halfway down for some reason. What I was doing is, before I did the taxi test, I had to retract this because the little gear the little screw that tightens the steering arm down onto this got loose. And so I had to retract it to be able to access that screw. And I don't think these retracted all the way, and I don't think they extended all the way. So these two were like half. So the actual B-70, when it's in flight, or this one, you'll see it'll be less of a nose-high attitude than I had then, but still a very nose-high attitude. What's left? I've got to clean up these sort of gear door areas. Now that I've got the landing gear finalized, I can figure out how to do these. Maybe just leave them open, maybe put some like NACA ducts in here, or do something weird, make it look all nice. I've got to sort of reinforce this area here. This sort of crinkled a bit. This is for a little action camera, so it can sit here and it'll be recording backwards, which I think will be pretty cool. So when you rotate, you can see the runway sort of fall away beneath it. The acceleration when I was actually doing the taxi test was phenomenal, especially at full throttle. And I've done the calculations, and based on some static thrust tests I did earlier, we hit a peak of around 3 kilograms of static thrust, which is much less than I was expecting. But that should still let us take off in about 50 feet, so yeah. Now, I don't really have a scheduled date for the maiden, but I'd prefer to do it maybe during winter break if I can get it in then, because I'm sort of running out of time here. I haven't been planning for doing anything with it recently because of college apps and all that fun stuff you have to do senior year, so that's why I've been gone for a while, but it's time to get back on track.